GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening, Saratoga Springs. Our top story tonight, the Red Cross is urging donors as the nation faces a blood shortage, while the National Hurricane Center watches a possible tropical depression forming offshore. Traffic is moving smoothly, though a few detours linger. Over to you, Diana.
Ghost tour of the Canfield Casino start this Saturday at 6 p.m. Tickets $15, limited to 20 participants, guided by a local historian.
The tour explore the casino's 18th century cellar, share stories of former patrons, and include a complimentary historical pamphlet for each guest.
Reservations can be made online through the Saratoga Visitors website, with a 30-minute arrival window and a reminder call the night before.
We've got a lively evening ahead, so stay tuned as we dive into the stories. Lots to get to. Let's begin. Here are our top stories. The American Red Cross is urging residents across the capital region to donate blood as the nation faces a critical supply shortage, with an ongoing call for donors throughout 26. Talia Whitcomb has the full story.
Red Cross volunteers line the streets of downtown Saratoga, handing out flyers and setting up temporary donation stations at community centers and churches. The American Red Cross is urging anyone over 18 and in good health to schedule a donation as the nation faces a blood supply crisis. Officials say the shortage has deepened this year, with hospitals reporting dwindling inventories of common types. Mobile units will travel throughout the capital region, from the historic downtown district to the outskirts of Schuylerville, offering appointments without charge. Donors are reminded to bring identification and a list of medications, and to stay hydrated after giving today. Talia Whitcomb, GMNA News, Saratoga Springs.
The National Hurricane Center is monitoring a weather system in the Atlantic that could become a tropical depression. Satellite imagery shows organized convection and a closed low-pressure area, prompting forecasters to place the disturbance under observation. Model guidance suggests a possible track toward the northeastern United States later this week. Residents of coastal states are advised to stay alert for updates as conditions evolve. The center's tropical weather outlook assigns a 30% chance of development within the next 48 hours and a 20% chance over 5 days. Forecast models indicate the system moving northward at 10 to 15 miles per hour, with the greatest risk of heavy rain and gusty winds along the New England coastline. The NHC will issue advisories if the disturbance reaches tropical depression status and will continue to provide regular outlooks through the weekend.
Last Saturday, the new Costco warehouse opened its doors on Western Avenue in Albany, bringing a long-awaited retail option to the capital region. The store at 1701 Western Avenue welcomed roughly 14,000 members on opening day, a milestone that reflects years of planning and community anticipation. Shoppers streamed in to explore the expansive aisles, bulk goods sections, and the signature food court, while local officials noted the addition could boost employment and draw shoppers from neighboring towns such as Saratoga Springs, Schenectady, and Troy. The opening marks the first Costco in this part of upstate New York, expanding the chain's footprint beyond the metropolitan core. Early reports indicate the store is already seeing strong traffic, with many customers citing the convenience of a nearby warehouse for everyday essentials and larger purchases.
Capital Region flood recovery remains underway, with quick response restoration operating at 60% equipment capacity as town officials continue infrastructure repairs. Ongoing efforts aim to restore normalcy. Talia Whitcomb has the full story.
Quick response restoration crews are on the ground across the capital region, pulling together to mend the damage left by last month's flooding. About 60% of their equipment fleet is already in use, from high water pumps to portable generators, as they clear debris and shore up vulnerable streets. Technicians are welding damaged culverts, while heavy trucks lay new sandbags along low-lying avenues. Town officials are alongside the workers, inspecting bridges and coordinating road repairs to keep traffic moving. The pace remains steady, but the scale of the work means the company is still operating below full capacity, focusing resources where water still lingers. Talia Whitcomb, GMNA News, Saratoga Springs.
Sovereignty captured the Whitney Stakes at Saratoga Racecourse Sunday, delivering a decisive win in one of the meet's marquee events. The thoroughbred surged past rivals in the final furlong, crossing the finish line in a time that left the packed grandstand buzzing. More than 40,000 fans filled the historic track, cheering as the horse claimed the prestigious purse. Trainers and jockeys praised the performance, noting the horse's strong finish after a strategic ride through the early fractions. The victory adds a notable feather to Sovereignty's racing resume and positions the colt for upcoming summer stakes across the circuit. Saratoga's summer meet continues through Labor Day, with the next day's card featuring the Travers Stakes, drawing further attention to the city's storied racing tradition. The purse was set at $1 million, underscoring the race's high stakes. Coming up, Division Street Elementary welcomes its new principal, a start for kids, and a look at tonight's weather. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. Division Street Elementary is welcoming a new leader this summer as the Saratoga Springs City School District announced the appointment of Ms. Alina Ramirez as principal. Ramirez, who spent the past decade teaching elementary grades in the district, will take over the helm of the school on the first day of the new academic year. Parents and teachers say the transition comes at a pivotal time, with the school preparing for the upcoming fall enrollment surge and a series of curriculum updates slated for the coming months. District officials highlighted Ramirez's experience in community engagement and her track record of boosting student achievement. The change marks the first leadership shift at Division Street Elementary since the school opened, and the community looks forward to seeing her vision put into practice throughout the coming school year.
After 40 years serving Saratoga Springs, Pope's Italian restaurant at 232 Washington Street will close this year, owners announced. Bridget Halloran has the full story.
After 4 decades of serving classic pasta and pizza, Pope's Italian restaurant is shutting its doors this month. The family-run eatery at 232 Washington Street has been a staple for locals and tourists alike, drawing generations of diners to its red-checkered booths and wood-fired oven. Owners announced the decision earlier this week, citing personal reasons and the challenges of maintaining a small business in a changing market. Staff members are preparing final inventory, and a few longtime patrons gathered for a farewell meal, sharing stories of birthday celebrations and late-night coffee. The closure marks the end of an era for Saratoga Springs' downtown dining scene. Bridget Halloran, GMNA News, Washington Street.
Senior forward Mia Kazan etched her name into Saratoga Springs High School history by tallying 30 goals this season, shattering the previous single-season mark. The record-setting campaign, which unfolded over the course of her senior year, propelled the Warriors to a top 5 finish in the state rankings. Kazan's scoring streak included a hat trick against rival Ballston Spa and a decisive goal in the regional semifinals. Her performance earned her a scholarship offer from a Division I program, giving her a clear path to continue competing at the collegiate level. Coaches praised her work ethic and leadership, noting that her ability to find space in tight defenses set her apart. Kazan plans to graduate in June and will join the university team this fall, bringing her hometown pride to the next stage of her field hockey journey.
At the McGregor Links Country Club on July 27, the nonprofit Saratoga Bridges closed its annual golf classic with a total of over $60,000 raised. The tournament, which draws local golfers and supporters, funneled the proceeds into the organization's suite of programs for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Organizers said the turnout exceeded expectations, with dozens of teams competing across the 9-hole course. The funds will help expand therapeutic activities, vocational training, and community outings that the group offers year-round. Sponsors, including several downtown businesses, contributed prizes and matching donations that boosted the final amount. Saratoga Bridges board chair highlighted the importance of community involvement in sustaining these services, noting that each dollar directly supports participants in achieving greater independence. Local officials attended the closing ceremony, applauding the generosity displayed. The event also featured a silent auction that added several thousand more to the tally.
Burnt Hills sophomore Randy Morris captured silver in the 70-kilogram under-18 division at Junior Judo Nationals July 26 at the Broward County Convention Center, Fort Lauderdale, highlighting a strong U.S. Open performance. Russ Tedeschi has the full story.
A sophomore from Burnt Hills captured the silver medal in the 70-kilogram under-18 division at the Junior Judo Nationals held in the Broward County Convention Center, Fort Lauderdale, on July 26, 2026. Randy Morris fought her way through the early rounds, building on the momentum from a strong showing at the Junior United States Open. In the final match, she fell short of the gold but secured second place, adding the silver to her growing list of accolades. The event drew competitors from across the region, and Morris's performance highlighted her rising profile in the sport. Russ Tedeschi, GMNA News, Fort Lauderdale.
Now let's turn to your evening forecast and see what tomorrow holds for us.
A weak high-pressure ridge and a fast western jet are keeping Saratoga Springs dry this evening. The all-time high for August 11th in Saratoga Springs sits at 95 degrees, recorded in the heat wave of 2025. That surge broke a long-standing summer record and highlighted an unusually persistent ridge of warm air. The all-time low is 56 degrees, set during the cold snap of 2013 when a polar front dove far south. Normal highs for this date hover around 80 degrees with lows near 60, so today's 72 degrees sits comfortably between those extremes. Turning to the live radar, the screen is entirely clear across the Capital District. No echoes appear over the Adirondacks, the Hudson Valley, nor the Mohawk River corridor. The absence of precipitation reflects the high-pressure ridge that is pushing dry air eastward. With the jet stream sprinting from the west at 120 miles per hour, any moisture would be sheared off before reaching us. The calm pattern will persist through the night. At 6 p.m., the sky is partly cloudy and the temperature holds at 72 degrees. Humidity sits near 73% and a light west wind whispers at 4 miles per hour. Pressure is near average and rising, sealing in the dry air that the jet stream, blowing 120 miles per hour from the west, has already scoured from the region. UV index reads 6, and no rain is in the forecast. Tonight the high will drift down toward the low of 63 degrees as the ridge remains intact. Light winds will persist, keeping conditions calm through the early morning hours. Dew point will hover around 64 degrees, making the night feel comfortably humid but not oppressive. No weather alerts are active. Looking ahead, Wednesday remains clear with a high near 81 degrees and a low around 61 degrees. Thursday repeats the mild pattern, yet a 20% chance of rain sneaks in as a weak disturbance nudges the ridge northward. Friday brings a slight cool down, high 79 degrees, low 55, and dry skies. Saturday shifts to overcast conditions. Clouds linger while temperatures sit at 77 degrees high and 54 low, hinting at lingering moisture. Sunday turns wet, with a 60% rain probability and a high of 77 degrees, low 57, as a southern wave taps the jet stream and drags a frontal boundary into the area. The sequence moves from a steady warm spell into a cooler, wetter finish to the week. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic smooth despite detours. The Chamber's new lounge opens on Caroline Street and tonight's ghost tour at Canfield Casino await. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. An elevator outage at the Saratoga Springs train station forces all riders to use the stairs, with repairs slated for August 20th. A signal glitch earlier this morning slowed commuter rail briefly, but service was back to normal by 6 p.m. All major roadways, including Interstate 87, US 9, and Route 120, are clear with no reported incidents. Route 9 buses are detoured onto US 9A while work continues on New York 9 through August 15th, so allow extra time on that corridor. Drivers should stay alert for temporary detour signs along New York 9. On Saturdays, Route 70 runs every 30 minutes instead of the usual 20, so plan for a longer wait. Park and ride lot capacity remains reduced through August 14th as construction limits available spaces. Overall, traffic will stay smooth this afternoon. Just keep the transit changes in mind when you head out.
First up, the Fasig-Tipton Saratoga sale is at the Saratoga Race Course this afternoon, where buyers and fans watch the nation's finest thoroughbreds change hands. Excitement for any racing enthusiast. Next, the Saratoga Springs History Museum hosts Ghost Tour of the Canfield Casino, running all day. Haunted tailies give a chilling glimpse into our town's past and a fun outing for families. Then the city invites residents to the Charter Review Public Forum on Broadway, a chance to weigh in on local government and keep our community on the right track. Looking ahead, tomorrow kicks off the Saratoga Breakfast and Thoroughbred Farm Tour at the racecourse. Adirondack Day showcases regional crafts and flavors for locals and visitors alike. And later this week, the Taste NY Pavilion opens at the racecourse with a marketplace of New York-made foods to sample and take home. And now here's James with sports.
Racing season roars, high school playoffs heat up, and New York sports buzz intensifies. The Giants entered practice missing 3 of their top 5 cornerbacks, leaving the secondary thin. They'll host former first-rounder Terrion Arnold on Wednesday for a free agent tryout. While his talent could plug a hole, the 8 felony charges loom large, making any roster move a gamble. A casual summer softball game in Central Park turned into a headline when former Yankee Nick Swisher showed up, courtesy of Angry Orchard Cider. Fans watching a routine toss were treated to a surprise appearance, reminding Saratoga's baseball lovers that the city's legends still mingle in local parks. Nick Swisher stepped onto the Yankee Stadium stage for Old Timers Day on August 8, reliving his role in the 2009 World Series squad. His presence bridges the current roster with a championship past, offering fans a living reminder of the club's winning lineage. The Yankees' offense, once a top 5 engine through mid-June, has slipped to the league's lowest run production, averaging just over 3 runs per game. With Ryan Weathers slated to face Seattle's Brian Wu, the club hopes solid pitching can offset the batting drought as the stretch run approaches. The Mets rolled out a stacked lineup featuring A.J. Ewing, Francisco Lindor, Bo Bichette, and Louis Robert, while Nolan McLean took the mound in Cleveland. Opposing the Braves, the Mets' depth at the top of the order aims to spark a stagnant offense, but the right-handed arm will need to keep the game close. Before the 3-game home stretch against Seattle, the Yankees summoned right-hander Bradley Hanner from AAA to replace Kervin Castro, who landed on the injured list. Hanner's addition bolsters a bullpen already stretched thin, and his fresh arm could be pivotal in the upcoming series.
Gaffney's on Caroline Street is back, and the whole block can feel the buzz. After about 2 years of shuttered doors, co-owners Mike Morgan and Mike Malone reopened the historic spot on May 1st with a fresh look and a brand new concept called The Parlor, a 1920s-inspired lounge tucked beside the original dining room. The restaurant serves classic pub fare and a Sunday brunch that draws families and friends, while The Parlor offers craft cocktails in a speakeasy-style setting. The renovation kept the building's vintage brick and wooden beams, reinforcing the structure so it can stand for generations. For longtime Saratogans, Gaffney's is more than a place to eat. It's a reminder that our downtown thrives when we preserve its soul. Stay tuned for the Ballston Spa Farmers Market's juicy annual festival coming August 15th, a flavor-packed preview you won't want to miss.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. The Ballston Spa Farmers Market will celebrate local agriculture with its annual Fresh Produce Festival at Wiswall Park on August 15, 2026. Owen Prescott has the full story.
Vendors are setting up stalls along the grassy aisles of Wiswall Park, where the Ballston Spa Farmers Market will roll out its annual festival this coming 15th of August 2026. Fresh tomatoes, crisp apples, heirloom carrots, and a handful of artisan jams will line the tables, while local beekeepers demonstrate hive care and chefs slice produce for quick tastings. Families can wander through pop-up gardens, and a children's corner will host seed planting workshops. Live folk music will drift from a small stage near the pavilion, punctuating the scent of fresh herbs. The event runs from mid-morning until early evening, inviting residents to celebrate the region's harvest. Owen Prescott, GMNA News, Wiswall Park.
Thank you, Saratoga Springs, for joining us on the local sunset. Tonight's standout was the Whitney Stakes triumph at Saratoga Racecourse, a reminder of our community's spirit. We appreciate your support and look forward to bringing you more stories tomorrow. Stay tuned and have a wonderful evening.